This is Penny's Cheese Shop, located in Potts Point in Sydney. A tiny but fabulous Aladdin's cave of all things dairy. The majority of Penny's cheeses are Australian and showcase the diversity of our artisan dairies. I spoke with Penny about all things cheese. Now, Penny, you describe yourself as a curd nerd. What got you into cheese?
Well, it's as simple as I applied for a job with cheese. So that was about 16 years ago. I applied for a job with Miller Cheese Company, and then it wasn't love at first bite, but it was definitely down the track. I fell in love with Miller Aged Blue, and that was the end of it for me. But I've always worked with food. Through uni, I was working at a patisserie, and through I went and worked in a butcher's down in Melbourne for a bit, so it's always been around food, and finally I found cheeses. Yeah.
And how would you describe your food philosophy?
I like to know the provenance of things, where things come from, who's producing them. That's a good luxury to have in Sydney, in the middle of Sydney, but I guess, yeah, I like to know the grower if I can.
And how would you describe Penny's Cheese Shop?
It's a pocket-sized cheese shop. Yep. Maybe. We run out of 23 square metres, so it's not a huge footprint, but it certainly packs a punch for the size. Yep. Yeah.
And over this, the last few months have been a bit challenging. Have you had to change your suppliers, or have you still managing to get a balance between imports and local?
So I was really trying throughout the last 8 months, I guess, is it? Yep. To support Australian producers where I could, and so any events that I was doing, which were all online, Zoom events, I was only supporting Australian producers in those things. It's been tricky getting some cheeses, international cheeses. Obviously air freight has changed, there's not as many flights, the cost has gone up. But in the flip side of that, it's also been harder to get Australian cheeses because there's the same amount of people trying to get all of the Australian cheeses. So it's every week when I sit down to do my orders, it's a juggle as to who's got what and where that will fit into my range, and trying to kind of have a good scope and range for my customers here at Potts Point.
And as you say, it's for your customers here at Potts Point, but obviously you must serve other customers. Do you have an online shop as such?
No, I'm a very old-fashioned in-person cheesemonger service. Okay. So I have been providing vouchers for people that are overseas for their friends and family to have here in Sydney. I have got a little bit of a local delivery thing, but it's very much on a as needs basis, and depends on where they are and which way I'm travelling that day, so very personal. And then we're doing a call up and collect service, but we like to cater the right amount of cheese for whatever the purpose is, and have the right cheeses go to the right people. So I've so far avoided online retail sales, but at some point, once the brand is more recognised and people understand the quality, then maybe I'll move down that track. But out of 23 square metres, I have no room for packaging.
So do people travel far to come though?
Well, in the old days, before COVID, BC, people travelled from as far away as Ireland to come and visit. I think that's about as far as you can get. I miss the customers coming straight in off the plane from Japan. That was always a great source of enjoyment for them to try Australian cheeses, because they're very keen to get the local product. But now people travel from as far away as across the bridge, and we're just starting to welcome back our Victorian customers here too, so that's nice to have a few more people coming back.
And of course you're quite famous, in fact you could almost say infamous, for your fabulous cheese toasties.
True,
and you have a few different varieties of these. Do they always have the same cheese mix, or do you vary that?
The cheese blend changes from week to week. There's always a standard. There's always 3 that are included, which are cheddar, Gruyere and raclette. And actually lately it also encompasses a smoked scamorza and a Oaxaca cheese. But then we blend it out with other things depending on how strong we want the blend, or how mild, or what we want it to do. So
And it's still a very popular dish?
It sure is. It actually got peak capacity. We only make a certain amount during each day. Peak capacity meant that we were selling out of this by about 12 o'clock on a weekday, and definitely about 10:30, 11 on a Saturday morning. But now it's slowed down. Now people have started going back to the office here in Sydney. So yeah, no more working from home.
So you have to get in early.
You do have to get in early. We're not, I mean, we do 20 to 30 on weekdays, and we do 50 cheese toasties on Saturdays, and it's definitely a marketing exercise as much as anything, in that the margin on the cheese toastie is not high. It's all hand grated cheese, it's top quality, it's excellent bread. The things that we choose to put in there are of high quality, so we make a limited amount. Also, again, because we've got limited space. No kitchen.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, as they say, blessed are the cheesemakers
and all dairy manufacturers.
All dairy manufacturers. And look, Penny's Cheese Shop is still very much worth a detour. So come and have a look.
Yeah, please do. I'd love to welcome you here. Thanks.
Thank you, Penny.
All right. Thanks, Jeremy.
Whoa.